TBTL. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Hey Dummies. This is, of course, the TBTL newsletter video exclusive. My name is Andrew, and I will be your dummy today. And astute viewers, regular viewers of this video series might notice that I have more clutter in my studio today than I usually do. I got a little tripod over my left shoulder here, and maybe you can even see I got my phone recording behind me on that. And over here, I've got this boom stand for a microphone, but I've actually got another camera attached to that, and let me tell you why. It's because I got this email from Jake in Chicago. Jake, the perfect daddy, is his nickname. I'm not going to explain why. If you don't know, ask your parents. But Jake, the perfect daddy in Chicago, says, apologies if you've already done this. I'm not a regular Hey Dummies viewer. Sorry, Jake. I set up all these cameras for you. We got to make you a regular viewer. Hopefully this will convince you to tune in every week. But could we get a tour of your recording studio, specifically how y'all play drops? What you do is so important. Jake in Chicago. Thanks, Jake. Yeah, I'd love to explain this if I can. I'm not going to lie to you. This is like my 5th time recording this video. I have not been happy with the way they've been coming out. So let's hope that this one is a winner, okay? So going to this wider shot sort of over my shoulder that is being recorded by my phone right now, you can see that I've got 2 computers on my desk. I got this one that's sort of right in front of me right now that I'm talking into, and this is the computer that I use to talk to Luke every day remotely. And this computer basically serves one purpose, or maybe technically 2 purposes. It is to record these videos and also to connect with Luke remotely so that we can talk to each other and see each other and record each other while we do the podcast every day. And we use the same system, the same program to both do these videos and to connect remotely. It's a product called Riverside, which we've mentioned on the show quite a bit. And it's a pretty slick program, and that's what I'm using to record right now. And it's also, you know, Luke can just dial up. No matter where he is in the country, he can dial up on Riverside, and we can talk to each other just like a Zoom call, only a little bit better. And that's that computer. To my left here is my main computer. This computer does everything else in my life and in the podcast. This is where I play audio from. This is where I edit audio afterwards, you know, after the show. This is where I edit video and send emails and do everything. Regarding actual TBTL production, I am the person who plays the audio montage at the beginning of every show. You know, we always begin with a dry open of some sort of goofy tape. Then you hear the TBTL song, and then a montage of funny little drops or whatever. That's all pre-mixed in advance. I make those things, and I load them up on this computer, and then I fire them at the beginning of the show. Now, before I do that, to show you kind of what it sounds like, let me show you maybe a closer look at my audio board over here. For starters, let's take a look at this slider, or pot, or potentiometer, as we call it in the business, but I think slider will do. This one is in the up position right here. The reason that's in the up position is because that is my microphone slider. I don't have it labeled, but trust me, this is my microphone. If I were to pull this down, I would get quieter and quieter and quieter and quieter. I can get louder and louder and louder and louder and louder, and that is how I adjust the levels of my own voice. Over here, I got a VCR plugged into it. That doesn't really come into what we're talking about today. If I have a guest in the studio, if Luke is visiting, he can plug his computer in right here. Remote guest, that's where Luke, if I want to hear Luke when he's on the line and he's in his own studio, I would pull that up. I got a record player in the other room that's routed through this board as well. Don't worry about that. And then over here, I have host computer. That's my computer, the computer that all the audio comes out of. So I'm going to turn up my host computer slider to about right there. Let's pretend it's the very beginning of the show. In fact, let's pretend it's Wednesday, because as I record this, it is Wednesday, and this is the little intro package that we started the show with. Again, it always begins with dry tape. In this case, it was a TikTok video of this guy who goes by Some Guy Mark. At Some Guy Mark is the name of this guy on TikTok, and he's the one who does an imitation of a conspiracy-minded podcast host. And if I hit play on this on my computer, and I have this turned up on the board, you should be able to hear this.
Can I blow your mind right now? Chris is laughing because he knows where I'm going with this. Okay, there's not a single video of Abraham Lincoln. I'm serious. Look it up. Go on YouTube. Okay? Think about that.
He is right. That is weird. So I've paused that just for a moment now. I'm not going to listen to the entire intro package that we played on Wednesday, but I'm going to fast forward a little bit and maybe hear a little bit of the end of our montage, and then you'll hear the TBTL music. Now, usually it's Luke's voice that begins every show, and so you'll watch me as I sort of slide down the audio coming out of my computer so that Luke can start talking over top of the music. Now, Luke's not here right now, so I'll start talking over top of the music. That's what this looks and sounds like.
Beware of things that cost $1.99. Those are the membership dues for this club that I joined, the Columbia House Music Club. Turns out, that wasn't really even a club. It was just a business for making money. Although it is how I found my favorite band.
Okay, I believe his favorite band is various artists of the 90s. I didn't fast forward enough. I'm going to go a little bit further into this montage. We bring down the slider slowly as we start talking over top of the music, and that is how it's done. Welcome to a Wednesday edition of TBTL, as Luke might say at the beginning of every show. And then he would start playing drops and stuff from his end via his own setup, but he has his own computer where he would fire things like Shep Smith saying jalapeno, which I also have right here, I believe.
Jalapeno!
And so usually during the show, I'm not firing too much audio after that introduction. I'm the person who will play the dazzling donor intro and music, and it'll be the same thing. We'll start hot and then bring the music underneath us as we start talking.
We was hoping for some razzle-dazzle.
Razzle-dazzle.
That's right, man, razzle-dazzle.
On your mark.
On your mark.
Get set.
Get set.
Now ready.
Ready. Go.
Everybody razzle dazzle.
And we bring down the music, and we start thanking all the generous people who support TBTL, and then I slowly bring this music slowly out all the way as we're talking so that hopefully it just sort of disappears in the background and you never really notice that it is fully gone. And so that's basically the tour of my studio. I mean, I don't have anything else especially exciting to show you. I think you can see I got a couple of red boxes. You might not be able to see it very well from this shot, but I have a couple of red boxes underneath this computer here. That's how all of these things talk to each other. Essentially, my audio board is an analog audio board, but computers are, of course, digital. So I have one of those red boxes for each computer so that each computer can talk to the audio board for audio coming and going. They're called Scarlett 2s, actually, by a company called Focusrite, and I think that's a very standard piece of equipment. Most people who are in the podcasting game are probably familiar with those. And that's about it. I got a little speaker in the corner, so if I want to take off headphones and listen to something through the speaker, I can do that. But I guess I can show you my little recorder here. This is what I used to record the show on every day for the main recording. This is now my backup, but every day I record on Riverside, and I record on this thing, and I record on my computer over here. So I have kind of a 3 backup system. All right. Is that good enough? Is that a good tour of my studio, Jake? This was take number 4 or 5. I'm not going to do another one of these things. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope it answered your questions. If you have any follow-up questions, because I feel like I'm probably not doing this right still. You can email me, andrew@tbtl.net. I'm happy to revisit this, even if I have to take all that time to set up these cameras again. And Jake, you better become a regular listener now, or viewer of these videos, okay? Thanks, everybody, for all you do for TBTL. Jake, thank you for the question. Everybody, thanks for putting up with me. I hope you have a great weekend. And if I didn't mention this earlier, we could always use more Hey Dummies questions. Email me, andrew@tbtl.net, and put Hey Dummies in the subject line. We do appreciate it. All right, everybody, thank you. Let's hope take 5 is a keeper. We'll talk to you on Monday.